Alright guys, as promised, I am back with the photos that I told you I would show you from Daugherty in Yorktown, Virginia. So just a little background story. That happened April 14th, 2022 in Yorktown, Virginia. And everyone in the beginning, they were saying it was definitely not a self-unaliving. Someone else was involved. But the investigation ended, I guess, due to lack of evidence and or poor investigation, as some people would say. They marked it as a self-unaliving, which family and evidence still points to that's not the case. So let's get into it. This is Daugherty's home at the time. Now, this house was under contract at the time. They were scheduled to close on this house on the 20th of April, and the incident happened on April 14th. So it was on the market. So these are the photos that the family actually took on Zillow. The house has not been sold since then. So this is what it actually looked like at the time of the incident. So this is the front of the house here. And if you guys don't know the full story, I can give you a little rundown on this, but definitely go back and watch my last video. We deep dive into the story and the details, but I'll give you a little bit now. So on April 14th, 2022, Sean comes home from school around 3:09 p.m. And who's in the house when he gets home is grandma and 2-year-old brother. His grandma has to go to a doctor's appointment, so, and it's kind of of a last minute doctor's appointment. It's not like something that was planned. Grandma had some heart issues, so mom comes home early from work. She pulls in the driveway right here. She pulls into the driveway. Grandma comes out. She's got to go to the doctor to get an EKG. So Sean's at the door like, what's going on, you know? Like, what are we doing? Because little brother's in there asleep. 2-year-old brother's in there asleep. So mom yells from the car and she's like, hey, I have to take grandma to the doctor. We'll be back. I'll call you from the car to give you, like, more details. Because they had to hurry. So she's yelling this right here. So he's like, all right, cool. So she calls him immediately as soon as they leave the house. I'm assuming Sean locks the front door. And mom talks to him and just, she's basically giving him the thing. He's like, well, can I still play Fortnite? Because he wants to get on Fortnite after he does his homework to play with his friends, and that's just something that he loves to do. So mom's like, yes, you can still do that. I have your brother's iPad already charging, so if you want to, do your chores and homework, and then get your brother upstairs to your room, in there on the second floor. Get your brother upstairs in your room and give him his iPad, and you can play Fortnite, and we'll be back. Everything will be fine. He was super excited about it. So he talks to mom a few times on the phone, just about going over the rules and everything, and he's excited. He's happy. They're laughing on the phone. So at 3:27, they get off the phone, and Sean is, he actually has a snack already prepared for himself. He got a peach out of a jar that was in the refrigerator, and he puts it in a bowl, and he puts it on the counter in the kitchen. His alarm goes off at 3:30 for his chores. So and his chores was just gather all the trash in the house and take it out the back door. And I will show you that photo as well. So the wrong way. All right, so here's the back door from the inside of the house. Here's the kitchen over here. So his peach was sitting on the counter over here in a bowl. And all of this right here was full. This little area right here was full of the trash. Already tied up, ready to go. Trash can was right outside this door. This is the backyard. So Sean was really weird about being barefoot. Like, he had to have shoes on. That's just like was one of the big things that he had to have in the house, outside the house. He always had to have shoes on. Didn't want to be barefooted. So, interesting enough, his Crocs were found right next to the trash, upside down. So that was kind of strange too. But this is what the back door looked like. So, last anyone heard from Sean was at 3:30 from his mom. And they got off the phone, and that was it. So, sister comes home at 4:50 because she stayed after school for a game. She comes home in a hurry because she's got to do something after this. She's coming home to change, whatever. So, she comes in, and she pulls up in the driveway, She goes to the front door, it's locked. Long story short, she calls Sean. Sean's not answering. She's getting frustrated because she's like, man, I need to hurry. So she's like, whatever, I'm just going to go around back. So she goes around back over here to the left, through their little gate. And she goes around back, and which comes out right over here by this trampoline. And all this fence around here, all the fences around there is literally 3 foot wooden picket fences. You could literally see everything. Okay, no privacy about that. She walks in, she feels a little weird, like walking back there, like what the heck is going on? I don't know, she just felt like someone was staring at her. Well, she looks over to the left, there is a landscape man over there, looking at her, like looking puzzled. They're both looking at each other like, what? So she notices something back here on this swing set right here. Right in this area. She's like, what is that? And it scares her because she sees it's somebody. She's like, is that a man? Anyway, come to find out, it was her brother, Sean, hanging from this swing set. Right in this area. He was hanging there with a bag over his head. And she said that he was suspended from his chin. So it looked like something like that. Not like, like an actual self-hanging type situation. So she said he was like that, and there was a chair out there. One of these chairs, which Sean, not to mention, Sean couldn't lift this chair. Okay. He couldn't lift these chairs. But this chair was out there by the swing set under him. And his feet were dragging the ground. He was barefooted still. His bottom of his feet was clean. So that's already odd. You would think that he'd have something on his feet, right? Like some type of dirt or something. His knees were bent and his toes were basically dragging the ground. So that's already odd. And also there was a belt, and paramedics even said that the belt was on his waist with his arm strapped to his side so tight that it was hard for them to get the belt undone. So how could someone do that by themselves? I don't know. So sister pulls him off here, does CPR and everything. She calls 911. Mom comes home, and then a lot of people were asking about the stepdad and what his alibi was. He was at a doctor's appointment with their other son, who was 5, like 45 minutes away. And when mom told him everything going on, he left the appointment early, so he did have an airtight alibi, so he was cleared. Mom noticed when she came home, she noticed that Sean was wearing his stepdad's clothes. And that was odd because, first off, Sean was not that type of kid to, like, go in their room. Like, he's not, like, he was more of, like, a privacy kid, like, and he likes his stuff, like, a certain way. So he was in his stepdad's clothes down to the underwear. Weird, right? So backtrack just a little bit. He turned in his homework and everything, and part of his homework earlier that day before he took the trash out was to send in a selfie with his homework. So it had an outfit that he was wearing that day. And they also pulled surveillance from school to see the outfits he was wearing that day, and it had nothing to do with what he was wearing. It was not his stepdad's clothes at all. It was his own clothes that he picked out. So mom is freaking out. Mom goes into the house. They go into the master bedroom, which I believe I have. Maybe here we go. Okay, here's master bedroom. Mom comes in, and all these drawers right here are just wide open. Like someone's been in there, like going through everything, right? And mom says she pretty much trips over right here in this area, trips over Sean's underwear, which is so odd because he's never taken his clothes off in their room whatsoever, much less leave his underwear laying around anywhere. So that was kind of odd. And there was no other evidence in this room except that. So mom scoops it in a bag and, gives it away for evidence. Sean's glasses was found. He can't see without his glasses. He was found with a lens missing, and it was broke. Somewhere in the vicinity, that's what they said, around the playground. So, strange enough, they don't know. They didn't get any prints off that or anything like that, which is weird. How is he going to get up there if he can't see? Weird. They never found the lens. Also, he was wearing jean shorts that day and an undershirt, and they never found those. They looked in the trash all through the house. Like, they never found those anywhere. So that's kind of odd. But yeah, here are the photos. And also, like, right here, here's an angle of obviously where they found him hanging about right here. Here's the backyard. Landscapers are over here. I don't know if they interviewed the landscapers. I don't know how much in detail they did. From my understanding, they didn't. But this is their view. How did you not see anything going on, right? if these landscapers were there the whole time, I mean, he's only there like an hour and 10 minutes alone without anyone hearing from him, you know? So if these guys were over there doing what they're doing, they should be able to see it. It's all open. I would see some shit going down, especially a kid with a bag over their head. So that's weird. So yeah, a lot of people are saying, was it because mom announced it right here? Did someone in the community hear? And that was an opportunity, and they knew this family. So it would make sense that someone in the community knew this, knew his routine. Every single day he had an alarm every single day at 3:30 to take the trash out. Now, normally it doesn't seem like he's ever really alone. It seems like he has watched his baby brother before by himself, but it wasn't like a normal or like routine thing. So yeah, that's just it's just odd. So they're thinking maybe an opportunist or something that took place. But also back here on this back door, they found a whole ass handprint, whole adult handprint back here. So that was kind of weird. They did take that in for evidence, but didn't match anything in CODIS or anything. So that's odd too. They did send everything over, you know, autopsy-wise, everything that Emmy said it was marked as a self-unaliving, even though, you know, in a hanging, normally the hyoid bones broke or fractured or whatever, but that was not a thing because he wasn't hanging like that. So I don't know in detail. We're still trying to get this opened back up. Would love to get this reinvestigated, especially by someone that's not local PD. Someone that knows more in detail about things and what to look for. Because this little boy deserves justice, and I just don't think that justice was served in this case. And so, yeah, that's the rundown. Like I said, if you want more detail, go check out our last video or check out our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or also here on YouTube. Also, we got some snippets on TikTok as well. But I do encourage you guys to go look on Facebook. The family, right after this happened, the family had made a Facebook page, and it's called What Happened to Sean. And Sean is spelled Sean. And they posted a lot more detail. And that's where I gather a lot of the detail from the family as well, as from that Facebook page. And it's a lot of raw emotion on there too, and very, very detailed. So I definitely recommend reading that as well. Also, I signed a petition. There was a petition going around too, and it may be on the Facebook page. Basically, getting everyone to sign it to get this case reopened. Because people in that area at that time was like, there's no way. There is no way. How are you not finding any evidence? So this case is closed, and just justice was not served. So these are the photos I was going to show you guys. So any questions, feel free to reach out. But definitely, we're still on this case, looking into it. Hoping to maybe get an interview with one of the neighbors or mom or dad or someone, so we can get more information to spread, you know, to help spread awareness on this case. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate it, and see you next time.